Ladies and gentlemen, there's no time for sleeping, cause we've come a-reapin'. The night is right to fight the ultimate fright, death, him, her, or itself. In this corner, playing it cool, cause death ain't no fool, Benson. And in the opposing corner, going toe-to-toe with the man down below, Big Wolf on campus. Gather your pennies and put up your spoons.
This is We Bleed Orange and Black, the podcast for Halloween and horror lovers. Join us as we interview creators, discuss our favorite horror, and share original spooky stories. I'm Jeff, repping the 80s.
I'm Ryan, repping the 90s.
This week's theme, Grim Reapers.
You might be a king or a little street sweeper, but sooner or later you dance with the Reaper.
Ryan, he's like your guy, right?
I enjoy a good Grim Reaper.
Did you make a short film about this?
I did make a short film about a Grim Reaper, yeah.
I had a Grim Reaper costume for Halloween one year. Even though our downstairs basement / my dad's workbench was like our prop closet sort of sound stage for our home videos, we didn't really do any machine shopping, but I found a piece of broken acrylic that was in the shape of a scythe. So I got a stick that was the perfect size for like a scythe handle, and I figured out how to get the acrylic blade into it, and then I splashed some red blood on it, and I was like, yeah, I am basing a Halloween costume around this cool piece of broken hard plastic I found, because that's what we did in the Ben Cooper days.
Is this the days before you could get a bin full of 1,000 scythes at the Halloween store?
I think it was slightly before, because there was a time where you could get a really, really good die-cast metal screen-accurate pistol to play with as a kid. And then that era ended, but then the era of super prevalent cheap knockoff swords and nunchucks and maces and such became the law of the land.
I suppose it's a good thing that the pistol era ended. It's probably for the best.
It's for the best, but those things are more precious than gold, because when we were making our short videos and stuff, I'm like, well, I got a couple guns that you pull the trigger and the slide goes back and smoke comes out the top and they look awesome. So we were stepping out once again. I'm bringing a new episode to the show. I was so excited to find this in my deep dive of Halloween episodes. Ryan, have you ever seen or heard of the show Benson?
I've of course heard of the show. I don't think I ever saw it though.
I was a big fan of this show.
Because we were big fans of literally every show, because there was only 5 shows back in the day.
It's true, but now there are more than 5 shows, and I'll tell you, I went back and I watched this episode and I was delighted. I was so charmed from stem to stern.
At first I was like, because it was, again, so sitcom-y, terrible jokes, and then after like 10 minutes I was like, tee.
Yeah, the laugh track is heavy, some of the setups are corny, but you've got an incredible cast just playing it to the nines. But a little context. My episode is Benson, Season 7, Episode 4, The Stranger, which aired October 25th, 1985. Benson, starring Robert Guillaume, was a spin-off from a sitcom called Soap. The eponymous Benson Dubois starts as a butler and then works his way up the ranks in the governor's mansion.
This is a Camp Radio News Alert. Our top story on this Halloween night: gale force winds and rain continue to pelt Capital City. Several major highways have been flooded, isolating some of the outlying regions. Stay tuned to Camp Radio for emergency flood news.
It's Halloween night, and a heinous storm is battering the governor's mansion and flooding the state. The power goes out, leading to an ill omen.
It's an old Irish curse on Halloween of all nights. If a teacup on All Hallows Eve falls upon the floor, prepare your mortal self to leave, for death is at the door.
Good evening.
A stranger appears. The stranger, the titular stranger. A man in a black-caped ulster coat and top hat with a skull-tipped cane, played by none other than William Marshall a.k.a. Blackula.
I was shocked and delighted when Blackula showed up.
Now, Ryan, did you clock the lit jack-o'-lantern in the kitchen?
I did, as the only Halloween decoration extant in this episode.
But prominently framed in several shots.
Yeah.
The governor decides to give the man, Mr. G. Reaper, shelter from the storm. The maid is against it.
He's not a man. He's the Irish curse. He's a specter of death living amongst us.
Well, he may be the specter of death, but he's certainly not Irish.
The governor's daughter plays Trivial Pursuit with G. Reaper, but he can't lose because every question is a pun involving death. The governor calls a radio station to announce that trick-or-treating is canceled.
I am asking all of you good parents of Capital City to keep your little goblins at home this evening, and let's just put our candy away and have Halloween another night. I know I'm going to put all my wax lips and my candy corn and my chocolate kisses away in the cupboard.
It's all goofy fun until the phone rings with news that a school bus loaded with 41 kids has gone into the river. The timing of this disaster, combined with the fact that every time they mention the name G. Reaper, a dog howls and gets everyone spooked. They worry he may indeed be Death. Benson goes to the office and asks G point blank if he's Death. G admits it, but Benson asks for some ID to be sure.
I have something infinitely more impressive than that.
Let me see it, babe.
Will that do?
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
G says he's come for the souls of the kids on the missing bus. It is at this point that Benson challenges Death to a game of skill to save them, wagering his own soul if he loses. Now, Ryan, this is the first episode of Benson you've ever seen. You thought it was very sitcom-y in the beginning. How often do sitcoms go to challenging the Grim Reaper for the souls of 41 children?
And full-on death magic.
Yeah.
I had to change my attitude, you know what I'm saying?
G agrees, but insists that they play that Trivial Pursuit Reaper edition, and he's nailing every punny question.
Except no one ever got a single pie piece. That was so frustrating.
Because they weren't playing the board game, they were playing first to three. However, all the questions pulled for Benson are about Black history, and he's crushing every one of those. They go tit for tat, deadlocked,
Okay.
until G misses a question about the Charles Bronson movie Death Wish. Now it's all up to Benson. The question is, what is the name of the pig on Green Acres? He's stumped. This isn't Black history, but he digs deep and remembers forward in time to a famous speech delivered by Samuel L. Jackson.
Well, we have to be talking about one charming motherfucking pig. I mean, he had to be 10 times more charming than that Arnold on Green Acres, you know what I'm saying?
I was like, what is the joke here? Did he do the voice of the pig on Green Acres or something? I don't get it. There is no joke. It's just totally random, right?
I think the joke is rule of threes, where all of G. Reaper's questions followed a very obvious pattern, and then he got Death Wish, but he didn't know it. All of Benson's questions were about Black artists or, Black sports figures, and then we get to
a very white pig.
He's won. Death releases the bus full of children, bids Benson farewell for now, and vanishes in a blast of thunder. There is another episode of Benson with the ghost in it that I kind of want to do on the show, just because, I'll be honest, I'm having too much fun watching Benson, rewatching Benson, I should say.
There was a hilarious part that made me laugh, because in the beginning of the episode, they're like, it's the Irish curse, it's the Irish curse. And then Benson's like, that guy ain't Irish. And then at one point, Death messes something up and he goes, oh, Begorra.
when he flubs the Charles Bronson question, he grabs his head and he goes, Begorra.
And I was like, well played, sitcom.
Yeah, having watched this episode more than once, there was a lot of really funny callbacks in it. It's sitcom-y, there's a laugh track probably, but the writing is really tight. Robert Guillaume is amazing. Obviously, William Marshall is incredible. Very Halloween-y throughout. It's all about trick-or-treating on Halloween and if they're going to have to cancel it and souls getting collected. And, fantastic. Maybe G. Reaper was only there because the veil was so thin.
Yeah, but he has to pull souls all the time.
Exactly. So what was different about this is that he passed through in this big storm. The veil was thin.
Oh, because he actually manifested? Oh, I see, yeah. We get this backstory of him destroying 91 Irontown people in some catastrophe. And at the end of the episode, Benson, looks it up. And he's like, Irontown, 91 people killed. And I was like, well, did you really need to look that up? Don't you have enough proof that he was telling the truth at this point?
Yeah.
And then he makes an Arnold Ziff joke, or an Arnold Ziffel joke.
Exactly. I think that was just to bring it full circle to be like, had I lost, all those souls would have been taken. So, this is kind of ghoulish, but do you think that bus with 41 kids and the bus driver went into the river and they were either sort of perpetually drowning until death came to claim their souls, or were they just suspended in a state of undeath and then Grim Reaper released them from the river?
Yeah, I suppose they were just corpses expanding with internal gases.
They really don't make sitcoms like they used to.
Yeah, Benson, 2 thumbs up. Fine holiday fun.
Hell yeah.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I got another Big Wolf on Campus for you. And it's a doozy. Not really. It's okay. It's not bad. It's pretty Big Wolf on Campus-y.
It's nice to be back on campus where the wolves are large and so is the wacky comedy. However, I will say I sorely missed the Coreys and what they bring to this show.
The Coreys elevate anything they touch, except for any Lost Boys sequels. Do you think that his terrible wolf makeup is meant to be just because he's pubescent and has a patchy beard, or do they just want to save money?
Didn't we talk about this?
Well, I'm sure we've talked about it every time, but I just can't get over how shitty it is.
Yeah, the eponymous Big Wolf in this show has terrible garbage makeup where he wolfs out and he just gets big sideburns.
Just gets mutton chops.
And according to the lore of the show, the actor, they put him in the makeup chair and all right, time for 3 hours of makeup. And he was like, no, I don't want it. I'm allergic to it. And they're like, no, you're not. And he's like, well, I don't want to be in the chair for 3 hours every time I have to transform. And so they just gave him big eyebrows and mutton chops.
I suppose that's fair, although it's also grounds for recasting in many situations.
Yeah, that's also true. And with some of their side characters, I remember them doing some pretty cool makeup. They had the special effects and the know-how and the craftsmen to make some cool monsters on that show. But I guess the bit players weren't going to complain about spending 3 to 5 hours in the chair.
I had forgotten the actor lore, and while watching this episode, I was like, oh, I wonder if it was just because they wanted it to still be the handsome dude, football dude. But he looks so doofy in the makeup that it doesn't matter if he's got full makeup or just sideburns.
He looks doofy, but that goes back to my whole reason why there's a dearth of werewolf material now, which is A, no one wants to see men behaving badly, and B, no one wants to pay for an actor who's good enough looking to put on screen and then cover them up in makeup.
No one wants to see men behaving badly unless they're behaving badly sexually. I refer specifically to the Greys. What are those called?
Oh, 50 Shades of Grey?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that guy's the hero of the movie.
Right, and he behaves really badly.
True.
But those are made for horny middle-aged women, so...
First of all, don't kink shame.
I know, I'm not kink shaming. I love horny middle-aged women.
The thing is, I think they would like him more if he wolfed out, which is ironic because the people making those movies or shows would never have him wolf out.
50 Shades of Grey Wolf. Dude.
I feel like we could go further with the wordplay there. 50 Shades of Bay?
A horse?
No.
Werehorse?
You baying at the moon, but also bay B-A-E.
I don't remember what this episode is called.
Don't Fear the Reaper.
Big Wolf on Campus, Don't Fear the Reaper. So there's an old guy sitting on a bench in the park. Death, it can only be Death, a hooded figure with a scythe, grabs his arm and tries to drag him to hell. Tommy, the Big Wolf on campus and elsewhere, delivers a flying side thrust kick to the Reaper and knocks him over. He gets a slash on his arm for his trouble, but then he beats Death senseless. Walks away and saves the old man, but Death awakens and vows vengeance. Over at Merton's house, I don't know, the school, whatever, Merton is doing a super bloody, gory Romeo and Juliet for the school play. I thought this would perhaps play into the plot at some point. I thought Death was going to be so moved by their performance as Romeo and Juliet that he let Tommy skate, but that's not what happens. Death arrives at the school. He's looking for the werewolf.
The hunt begins.
He disguises himself as a regular guy, with a skull-tipped cane. Because, as Benson has taught us, Death gotta have a skull-tipped cane.
Exactly.
Stacy, who's Tommy's crush in this episode, I don't remember how or when they switch over to the other Lori character. She had a fight with her college boyfriend, so Tommy launches Operation Rebound. But the college boyfriend brings her flowers and they make up and go away. Tommy demands the role of Romeo for Merton so that he can read with Stacy and kiss her and love her and such.
Sergeant, burn the fields, and when you're done with that, burn the house.
So Death finds Tommy in the hall, but he does not recognize him because he fought the werewolf.
Which is even funnier because, as you point out, this werewolf makeup is so shitty. It's just Tommy with sideburns.
It's like Superman's glasses.
Exactly.
It's like impossible to misunderstand. Although it was also dark. Although fucking Grim Reaper, G Reaper, lives in the dark.
Yeah, get your shit
He's
together.
probably got
G Reaper.
20/20 night vision. So Tommy runs away, and Merton is like, "Oh, you owe Death a sold that now, duh." But they're like, if you don't transform into the wolf, Death will never find you. But Tommy immediately like wolfs out, and it turns out Death was just watching them from around the corner like the whole time, so he knows. He shows up at Tommy's house. I don't know how he found his address because he couldn't even recognize Wolf Tommy, but again, neither here nor there. Merton introduces actual chainsaws into his play, like he's going for a space sci-fi crazy chainsaw Romeo and Juliet. Meanwhile, Tommy and Stacy are running lines, and she is swooning.
You're pretty good at all this acting stuff.
Maybe I'm not acting.
But her boyfriend calls. Operation Rebound thwarted again. Tommy comes home to find Death waiting and runs away at wolf speed through the woods and runs to Merton's house. Merton is like riffing on ideas for his play, and he's like, what if you set yourself on fire? He could totally do that and survive, and it would be like the best special effect in theatrical history.
It's true, and this will come into play later.
Exactly. So they decide to make a deal.
Your time has come, Tommy Dawkins.
Hey, that's no way to talk to a chess champion.
Chess champion? I'm always up for a game.
Okay, you win, I come with you. But if I win, you spare my life.
Very well. I'll be black.
You any good at chess?
Oh yeah, I'm awesome. That's the one with the little castles and horses, right?
But Tommy sucks at chess, and Death immediately gets a checkmate. So then they do the Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey montage where they're playing like silly games with Death. Only whereas Bill and Ted won all the games, Tommy loses all of the games because he sucks, as we've established in past episodes.
He sucks at a lot of non-werewolf related things and a few werewolf related things.
He's great at flying side thrust kicks, bad at everything else, including being a fucking Letterman who gets the girl, although he does get her at the end, spoiler alert. Death allows Tommy some time to say his goodbyes. Tommy decides to come wolf clean to Stacy because he's put her through so much. Really gonna have to catch up on some of these back episodes. Merton has a new plan, but Tommy does drop an I love you on Stacy before they run out of the room. They meet up with Death in that park. Again, they do a spell with a replica amulet. It doesn't work. So Tommy just wolves out and kicks Death's ass again. But Death hockey hooks him like a total suck. And then Tommy does a little acting. He's like, Merton, you fuck, you said this would work. I'll kill you. And he dives at Merton, but Merton dodges, and Tommy impales himself on an iron fence and dies. So Death leaves. Tommy gets up. The fence was fake air pressure. What is it called?
Pistons? Pneumatic
piston fence. Even though Tommy could have totally fucking survived getting impaled on an iron fence, and it would have made the illusion much more believable.
Now here's a question, because we haven't watched every episode of Big Wolf in a while, so I'm not crystal clear on the lore. Is Tommy a American Werewolf in London style werewolf that could be killed by any significant tissue damage, or is he a silver only Universal Wolfman style werewolf?
I suppose I could look it up.
Well, now I gotta.
How much better would the show have been if he was just constantly getting set on fire and impaled and then coming back to life?
I agree, that would be awesome. However, do you think they went with the Merton's theater prop special effects angle.
That's how they tie it back into the B story of Romeo and Juliet.
But also, it plays comedy, it plays kid show, it doesn't play like super gory teenager just got impaled through the chest and is now going to stand up and rip his flesh off of said iron fence.
I suppose. But we were made of sterner stuff in the 90s. We could have handled it.
That's true.
So luckily, all is wrapped up in a nice little package, and they're getting ready to do the play. Just before the curtain opens, Stacy tells Tommy that she broke up with her boyfriend because she's in love with someone else, and they kiss. Operation Rebound, a total success for now, until she realizes that she was actually just looking for a shoulder to cry on.
Cue the chainsaws.
Tommy partially wolfs out after the kiss, but she didn't notice because she's psyching herself up to play Juliet. The play is a huge success, and isn't that every schoolboy's dream? Your crush saying she loves you and being a werewolf? It sure was mine. The end.
Yeah, I thought you were going to tie that into the theater, which was more your bag than mine.
And being in a hit play, and being the star in a hit play. Being the star in a hit play while your crush says she loves you and you're a werewolf.
It's like I died and went to heaven.
Not yet, you haven't.
I would have liked a bit more Merton in this episode. I think he's like the unsung hero of the show.
I like Merton, but I hate his face. I want to smack him.
But that's what makes him perfect. He's the perfect counterbalance to Tommy, who you also want to smack.
I don't want to smack Tommy. He just sucks.
Yeah, he kind of sucks. Like, he's such a jock douchebag with superpowers that, you know, Merton is the underdog.
Yeah.
Look, I relate to Merton. What can I say?
I guess, yeah, to be fair, I want to smack my own face every time I look in the mirror, so.
And how?
If I have to go, I'm taking you with me.
Like I said at the top of the show, you're a huge fan of the Grim Reaper. Did this satisfy your craving?
My craven? My Wes Craven?
Your craving for some Graven?
I guess.
So what is it about the Grim Reaper that you like?
Definitely the duds.
It's about the duds.
Yeah. Guy's got drip.
Do you still have that Reaper cloak?
No, you lost it.
Did I lose it?
Yep.
When
on a music video shoot?
Oh, yeah. I was okay.
I mean, it was just a piece of black fabric, to be fair. But
It was a nicely draped in the medieval style piece of black fabric. Like, so much so that I borrowed it from you, I guess. But I remember the music video. My friend was making a music video. I agreed to do the special effects, and I was a character named Fly Guy.
Yeah, you had flies on your face.
Yeah, I painted my face dark, let's say. I glued flies all over my face because I couldn't purchase enough fake flies to like be truly covered every square inch. I had the Reaper hood on, I had spindly taloned fingernails, and then I had two fly girls with me who were the Magettes, and they were all in white in like these latex white skin tight suits. That was fun.
If you're gonna lose someone's stuff, that sounds like a good way to do it. But man, I had that cloak for a short film, my short film in college, my Halloween costume in LA, another short film that I made in LA. It saw me through a lot.
It saw you through a lot, but maybe it's good that you lost it. It gave you an opportunity to grow. Some of my best costumes and props that I've ever made definitely got lost when they were lent to other people.
Like sands through the hourglass.
All we are is dust in the wind, dude.
Body count for my episode, -42. Body count for your episode,
-1.
Scare factor for my episode, I'm gonna say 0. Gross factor for my episode,
0.
What the factor for my episode, I'm gonna give it a little tap on the scale.
Because you're introducing supernatural into a non-supernatural universe.
Into season 7 of a show about a butler that works his way up in the governor's mansion.
And it wasn't a dream.
It wasn't a dream.
It wasn't a hallucination.
It was like real deal. And the show keeps going after that. Like, that never happened. So I'm going to give it medium what the factor for that. What the factor for Big Wolf?
0 what the factor.
Theme of Grim Reapers. I'm going to call that a tie. Worlds collide. How do you think my G Reaper would do in your episode and your G Reaper would do in Benson.
Yours is way too nice. You'd be like, hey, Tommy, let's sit down and have a hot cocoa.
Except you know that my G Reaper is cruising for dozens and dozens of high school student souls.
He's playing the big game.
Yeah, whereas your G Reaper is like, this old man in the park, I'm going to grab him.
Yeah, he could wipe out the entire high school. Oh my god, there would have been a catastrophe at the Romeo and Juliet play. Like, all those chainsaws would have gotten out of control.
Definitely.
Grab a chainsaw! Awesome!
I lose on body count, but I make up for it in What the Factor. We are tied down the line on just about everything else.
You could get a little gross factor if you don't like blood, because they do cut that guy's arm off and it sprays blood in the Romeo and Juliet play.
You know what? I'm going to give gross factor to you for that. Winner, Big Wolf on Campus.
Oldie but a goodie. If you had to play death for your life, what game would you choose?
I've been racking my mind over this because I know I'm not like Drew, who's super skilled at Soul Calibur. There's no game that I think I'm absolutely dominant at.
Do you think you could beat Death at Halloween trivia?
No, he was there. So even if it's like a Bill and Ted style Grim Reaper, which to me is sort of the canonical Grim Reaper, apologies to William Marshall, I think it would have to be like some kind of party trivia game, fast twitch, get drunk and blurt stuff out. That's sort of where I shine, or at least I like to think I shine. My wife does not agree that I shine.
My first thought was pool, because I usually win at pool. However, there are too many uncontrollable factors. Like, you can miss a rail, or you can scratch on the 8-ball, and then you gotta go meet old Scratch. Not worth it.
That game with the 15 numbered balls is the devil's tool.
Do you think you get an automatic win in like Flip Cup or something, because the beer just pours through his ribcage and onto the floor, so he's not technically drinking it? It's kind of goes back to my
it goes back to
old
all
answers.
of your terrible suggestions from our Spooktacular from a few years ago.
It is thinking outside the box.
And I like that you're thinking outside the box, but this begs the question, even more philosophical. If you upend a container of liquid into your mouth and it goes
it probably
through
still
you,
counts.
It counts as drinking, I say.
Yeah. And he probably wouldn't agree to it anyway. He's more of a Beirut man.
You know what you should do? You should challenge him to the Addams Family Nintendo game. I don't think anyone in the world has as many reps as you do at that game.
Although they're creepy and they're kooky, so like it's probably right up his alley again.
Up his alley, but again, even if he's lived 1,000 years, no one's played it as much as you have.